Hello everybody, this is Kurt with the Nick and Kurt Experience, and I'm back playing the new season of Diablo 3. This is Season 4, Patch 2.3. I usually call it Patch 2.4 just because Season 4, it confuses me. They're just off by a number. It seems to happen with a lot of kind of games, but basically in this kind of series, you'll see what I do. It just includes me showing off certain builds that I try to create. Through means of search of the top leaderboards just to see what people are doing, try to make something a little bit on my own too, and that usually fails. And just showing you guys like what somebody like me who only has 107 actually is pretty freaking good for a couple days into the new season. I played it this weekend. Like I had the whole weekend to do that after I got my last video on Saturday up. I had the whole Saturday and Sunday after the fact to do that. To do that. So before we do that, I will show you what I'm working with right now. Barbarian is one of my favorite characters in this game, so I usually start them with the new season. But as you can see, I'm going for an Immortal Kings build. The Immortal Kings stuff that I have is pretty terrible, and I don't have everything for it. So obviously doing Torment 4 right now is not easy, not hard. It's like in between. So for Immortal Kings, if anybody's not seen the new stuff for the Immortal Kings yet, here it is. 2 in the set, Call of the Ancients, Last Till They Die. Used to be farther than that. 4, reduce the cooldown of Wrath of the Berserker and Call the Ancients by 3 seconds for every 10 fear you spend with an attack. So every time I go, boom, that gives me 3 seconds off both of these. Then last but not least with 6 set, while both Wrath of the Berserker and Call of the Ancients is active, you deal 250% increased damage. That's where my damage is coming from. But the problem is you can tell I still have a bit of a mishmash of stuff put together. I don't have the shoulders I need. The shoulders I need are pretty cool. They essentially allow my Call of the Ancients to have this rune right here, Ancient's Fury, which I gain 4 Fury every time an Ancient deals damage. That'll give me a massive boost. And then the weapon I'm looking for is Gavel of Judgment, I think it's called. And what that basically does is add more damage for my Call of the Ancient, or my Hammer of the Ancients, by essentially whenever I'm hitting, I think it's less than 3 people with it, I gain back Fury instead of losing it. But we'll basically show you. So this is Torment 4, just a normal Nephilim Rift. I can do T6, but I die rather quick. But if anybody's watched any of the old Diablo 3 and Season 3 that I used to do, Season 3 videos, you'll see that this format's typical of what I usually do. But basically you just want to start off by summoning your Ancients. Small weak groups like this, I don't use my Wrath of the Berserker yet because I won't have enough. I'll be doing too much damage and I'll one-shot everything, and then I won't gain enough Fury. Oh, the other thing I forgot to point out too, I'm using Unforgiving for now, Rampage, Bloodthirst, and Animosity. Animosity is helping with my regen. The Bloodthirst obviously is giving me health back. The Unforgiving is giving me the slow increase in Fury. That'll all change as soon as I get the weapons I need, because those will be my main Fury generators then. As you can see, it's a rather calm level for now, but here we go. So now you can just turn on this, and as you can see, I do about 140 million crit every attack, and these guys, the elites, barely have like 300 million, I think, give or take a few, and so that works pretty much in my favor. The other thing too, if you noticed, I did get a Haunt of Voxo, a really bad one, with lightning skills, strength, crit, and reduce all resource cost. This season, unlike most other seasons, I usually waste a lot of my resources by re-rolling shit I don't need to re-roll. And with Kanai's Cube, Kanai, I don't know how to pronounce it perfectly, but with that new implementation, I can save stuff now and reroll some of the lesser legendaries I'm using now. So if I really wanted to keep the Haunt of Voxo, I can reforge that with a hefty price of like 50 Forgotten Souls and stuff like that. Like it takes a lot to do it, but when you redo it, there's a good chance that you'll get a really good one. So, all right, channeling makes this ridiculous. So for a build like this with such high single target DPS, the channeling makes me invulnerable, like essentially, just because I can stay everything permanently and I can just spam right click and I don't even have to regenerate with Frenzy at all. But the fun part about this build is I like the hybridization that's going on. So it is a single target DPS build, like the majority of it's single target DPS. But because of how Hammer of the Ancients works, if you get a grouping of enemies together, you will hit all of them for the same. You'll hit all of them with the same attack. So like it's really fun because I haven't been able to tell you guys too much, but like I was saying in one of my other videos, Nick is like back able to be online and stuff. And he does have his computer, but he's still way too busy to do recordings with me still. But I did get a little bit of time to play with him the past day or two in his spare time, which was nice. Oops. But what I found really cool, and I don't see it might be utilized now, but what I noticed wasn't utilized much in other seasons. Oh geez, is the mix of a witch doctor and a barbarian. Now in season 3, that wasn't really a big deal. Or was it season 2? I think it was. Yeah, no, season 2 it wasn't really a big deal because everybody was using Raycor. So most barbarians were better with another kind of build that would do cleanup other than a witch doctor. Witch Doctor's effects are generally best used in a large group where you can use his, I can't remember the name of it, but it's the big circular thing that you can up with your health gold pickup, and you can make a large circular area that gives people increased attack speed and damage. Whatever you pick for the rune. I can't remember the name of that. I don't play Witch Doctor, so I don't remember. That's generally better in that kind of situation when you have, like, a Demon Hunter and a Barbarian kind of like this. But in this season, what I've seemed to notice is because of how slow I'm moving now, unlike my old Whirly Barb in Season 3, having a Witch Doctor with me is really beneficial because the Witch Doctor can use his piranhas to group all of the enemies up into a small, tight-knit package. And then the piranhas he has allows me to deal more damage to them because they take 15% more damage while under the effects of the piranha tornado. And so they'll be in a massive group, and then I'll just do one slam while they're in that massive group while I'm in Wrath of the Ancients, or whatever. Yeah, Wrath of the Berserker, sorry. Jeez, I couldn't remember the name. While I'm in that mode, and if I just do one of those slams, it does almost 200 million crit, which is pretty goddamn ridiculous if you ask me. And it does it to almost everybody in the group, so we take out a large group in no time, which is pretty sweet. So I think as a two-man build kind of thing, like going through as twos for Grey Rifts, I think that a Barbarian and Witch Doctor build's a pretty good idea, in my opinion. But yeah, as you can see, T4, like, my damage is far surpassing that when I have Wrath of the Berserker up and running. The only problem is that I'm Fury Starved with this build, so I do get slowed down by that. As soon as I get the ability to maintain more Fury, either with the shoulders that I need or the weapon I need, both will make it so that I don't have to worry about Fury at all. But having two, or one of them, will help a little bit, and I can actually get a little bit quicker. So that's why T6 is viable, and I can do it pretty simply. I've already beaten a, I think that's Torment 25, I think, which is a T6. I could already do those just fine. I've already cleared a T6 Greater Rift, which is level 25. So, as it stands now with the piss poor alignment of weapons, well, the piss poor alignment of weapon and armor that I have, it still works. Like, they're all pretty terrible, and I'll show you at the end of the level here what I mean by my armor is bad. Essentially, I don't think I have one armor piece that's actually, like, very viable. I think they're all pretty mediocre or bad, but having them all gives me a damage boost. Oh, the other thing I forgot to tell you too, the reason why I'm doing Hammer of the Ancients, I can show you right now. So with this, I forgot to show you the bracers. The bracers of the First Men. Hammer of the Ancients does 50% attack. It attacks 50% faster and deals 158% increased damage. I got the low end spectrum, 200%'s the best. So this gives me a damage boost with that as well. That's the reason why I'm using it. There's another bracers, Bracers of Destruction, I think they're called. What they do is they give you seismic slam damage increase. So you can either go with this. I have the other stuff for the other bracers. I'll show you in my setup there. I think it's, I can't remember what it's a two-handed mighty weapon, something of the Vanished Peak. I can't remember the name of it fully. I'm very bad with names, in case you guys have never watched one of these videos of me before. I'm very bad with remembering names of certain weapons and stuff. I like pick up a legendary and then know it just by looking at the picture, but then sometimes I forget the names of others if I'm not looking at it, so it happens. But yeah, what that one does is that'll give you increased damage and stuff for using... Oh, Hatemonger. For using the Seismic Slam, while this one's giving me damage... Oh, jeez, that's going to kill me. That's going to kill me. Run away, run away, run away. Come back. I need health. So I think, basically speaking, between the two that I've seen, using either one's pretty viable, and I think it's just down to your preference. Well, for other people, they decided to forego that, it seems. I've been looking up like builds and stuff and seeing if I wanted to change up what I thought would be a good idea. Turns out this idea is pretty good, and people are using it to get pretty high up on the all-time lists and stuff so far. People are topping out already at like 61 and 2 or something. But there's another one that you could do where you just use the Immortal Kings Boulder Crusher and not use his gloves, and then you could get the waist gloves and the waist shoulders, and that'll allow you to do more. That'll allow you to do the massive rend damage from that build. All right, well there you go. So as you can see, that took what, 5-10 minutes probably, about maybe 8. I'm gonna say for just a T4 Rift. It's not bad at all. It's pretty good. What I like about it is that you're up close and personal, and you can do high amounts of DPS in one little point on the map. But without wasting more time, I will show you what I'm talking about with the other build that you can do. So a lot of things have changed. If you haven't seen any of this, I mean, I don't want to, kind of spin it around and stuff because people already probably know this, but all the new stuff with Kanai's Cube is here and everything. But the main thing I wanted to point out, though, like I was saying, Fury of the Vanished Peak. There you go. So as you can see, you get Seismic Slam damage increased by 30%, reduces the Fury cost of Seismic Slam by 48. That's one of the best weapons I've seen. It's non-ancient, which sucks, though. That's the only thing that blows. But I would re-roll nothing on this, really. All of it's pretty damn close to perfect. I would just use this to get a socket and put a socket on there. And then, if you can see, I don't have the Bracers of Destruction that are good yet. These ones are level 15. These carried me from 15 to level 70. I was able to do Torment 1 level 70 just because of these Bracers, and I wore them all the way to level 70. Reason being, as you can see, Seismic Slam does 398% increased damage to the first 5 enemies it hits. So, the reason why I'm keeping this is because eventually when I feel like getting all the parts for it on Kanai's Cube, on here, as you can see, the Extract Legendary power is all nice. Reforge Legendary. I'm pretty damn sure, I need to make sure I look it up, but I can put that in there, then I can put in 5 of these, 5, 5, 5, 5, and then the 50 Forgotten Souls, and reforge that to a level 70. If that's true, then I'll have that already ready to go, and I can switch out to Seismic Slam. The reason why I haven't yet is because I'm pretty damn close to the first one I want to build, and these are not bad. Like, 158 is terrible, the fire skills I can do 20, but I only rerolled it twice to get that. Strength is close to top, Vitality is mediocre to bad, crit chance is perfect, so non-ancients, right? The reason why I want to do that is because I want to see if the Gavel's better. I want to get both and then switch between the two and see which one suits my fancy more. I like Seismic Slam, but I like the increased attack speed using Hammer of the Ancients. But other than that, though, like I was going to show you, here's the armor sets I have. This actually is pretty damn good for a non-ancient. This is one of the best pieces I have, and I forgot about it. The 11% area damage on hit helps benefit my attack from Hammer of the Ancients. Then there's the pants, which are shit. Absolute terrible shit, but I only got them just recently, so whatever. I'll wait for better ones. The boots actually are not bad. I got a reroll on the Hammer of the Ancients damage in my 3rd try. Then Immortal Kings, as you can see, these are pretty okay. Like, it's not great. The main issue is that no secondary resist, and no secondary resist. The chest piece, on the other hand, secondary resist, but I get freaking life regen instead of all resist, or better choice, being able to re-roll the 3rd set for a reduced damage from elites. Then my helmet, which is 5.5, I only rerolled it twice. The strength and vitality are pretty high. No secondary resists. Then the shoulders, which are just a stand-in, they're literally the worst things ever. The only reason why I'm keeping them on and all is because I don't have any other ones, and I'd rather wait to get the good set of shoulder pieces I need. So then if I have to replace them, these wouldn't be like, ancient with best stats, and then I get non-ancient shoulders that I want, and they're very terrible, Then I showed you the Hunt of Ox already. Then the crappy Litany of the Undaunted, and then the really crappy Restraint. Well, they're not crappy. I mean, Strength, Vitality, and crit chance is not ideal. It has a secondary resist, which is good, but you'd want crit chance, damage, and strength, or chance, damage, and then some 3rd not strength, if you want to do it that way. It just depends on what you feel like doing. But that's pretty much how it sits for now. If you haven't seen any of these before, like I was saying, the reason why I do these kinds of videos is because I like to think that when I'm making these, there is a rather large disparity in the videos being made for Diablo 3 where it seems like people can either only do videos where they're doing T60 or higher and say, oh, just get these pieces. And you're like, that's cool. And you look, and they have Ancient of every piece, and they're all nearly perfect rolls. And you're like, well, yeah. And then they have a Paragon of like level 800. No problem to them. Like, that's fantastic. I wish I was that good at that too. But for people that may be watching this, I'd like to think that the ones that I do are the ones that most normal people would get to in the matter of a couple days, maybe a week, if they're not playing it as often as some people do. So I'm trying to show you that, like, in a couple hours' time, maybe like an in-game time of maybe 12 to 24 hours, you could do this if you're tenacious enough and just sit down and do some of the repetitions that I'm telling you over and over again. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just showing you that with the build as it sits, T6 is viable, but just watch my health during this time, like when I'm running through. You'll see that my health just deteriorates like crazy. Like I'm on a decaying scale here. Essentially, any enemy I get up to that has any mediocre to good attacks can nearly one-shot me. Not one-shot, the really good attacks. So like those explosions and anything from the grotesques, they can take half my health in one go. So I have to watch out for them. You'll see with elite packs, they'll do a very large amount of damage as well. And if I get the wrong set, I'll probably die a couple times over and over and over again. But if I can manage to keep my Rather the Berserker ready to go, there we go. So like this, and I can just do that. See how quick his health goes down. So my damage when I have Wrath of the Berserker up and going, and because I have the 6 set piece giving me the bonus, you do well enough, easy enough damage to do T6. I'm pretty sure that the damage I'm doing now could probably even get to tournament level 8, T8. And it would probably be viable enough if I could survive, but with 5 million toughness or whatever I have, it's nowhere near. Like 6.6 right now, but that's also because I'm stacking strength. So the good thing with it, having this much damage and being that weak of a sponge for damage is that if you manage to get levels like this where you get grotesques, zombies, and other slow-moving, non-projectile firing enemies, you can clear a T6 Greater Rift like this and get the legendary drops that you're typically wanting. Because like, if you do normal rifts, and if you've been playing this before and you repeat normal rifts over and over again, your legendary drop chance, if you have luck like I do, is very low. Like you get maybe a legendary every 3 rift runs. The only difference that makes rift runs great is that you can get, there's a pretty good chance you're going to get a goblin on a level some days, and then other times you'll get really lucky and get multiple goblin packs in like 1 or 2 different rifts. Saturday night when I was playing, I got right when I finally got to T3, which before I even had my 6-piece, I went into a rift, got a goblin pack, could only kill half of them, and then the very next rift I did, I got another goblin pack. So if you're ever in that situation, my advice would be pick the goblins you want the most. So in my case, I was looking for the Odious collectors, the gem hoarders, and the blood goblins. Because they'll give me the best benefit. The normal treasure goblins, which makes up the majority of those groups, they have a chance of dropping legendaries too, but in my opinion, getting blood shards, getting the gems you need since it's the start of a new season, those are more important. And Gildan Barons are very rare for me to find in those kinds of groups. I've found a couple solo, but not like in goblin packs. But just prioritize what you're going to kill if you can't do enough damage to get all of them, which is typical for a lot of people not doing T6 or higher. Oh, I had shield on. I don't know why I was pussing away from everything. But yeah, with the ability to do this as T6 as such, I'm not going for like super fast speed clears or anything like that. I'm just doing T6 so that I can get the legendaries at the end. I mean, sometimes you get shanked at the end of it and you don't actually get any legendaries, which has happened before. It happens to everybody. But you have a much higher chance doing a Greater Rift once or twice and getting legendaries than you do doing normal rifts if you have my luck. And I've come to notice too, the higher the Greater Rifts you can do, the more chance I get anyway. I don't know about it for everybody. The more chance I get for set pieces, and set pieces are what I look for. And oops, well there we go. I got killed by the what is it called? Mortar. Yeah, see, so I'm gonna keep dying pretty easily because they have the Molten, then they have the Mortar, and oh, Vortex and Desecrator. So I'm gonna die pretty good to this group. Like I said, when you get a group like this where they do a lot of damage with certain attacks, you are gonna have to run and try to avoid as much as you can. But if you can get rather the Berserker up and then do enough damage to one or two of them, you can clear it out pretty okay. In my case, it's not so because of the Mortar. Like I said though, this is exactly what I was talking about. When you are doing a Greater Rift of 25, which is a T6 equivalent, and I have barely 6 million toughness at times, that's the reason why I'm dying so quick. There's nothing I can do about it. There we go. So oh, jeez. Oh, if you're also wondering too, I'm not using reduced damage between all of my Barbarians right now. Reason being because with T6, I don't do it all the time. So I don't need that increased damage reduction yet because I'm not doing Greater Rift clears as best I can. I'm just doing them for fun and I'm trying to get legendaries out of the deal. When I switch over and I get most of the pieces and I'm starting to do higher Greater Rifts, like 30 or whatever, they will be on the damage split between my Barbarians and me. But for now, they just have the increased damage. They're doing increased damage with the rune that I have on them now. So yeah, if you're wondering though, yes, if I was using that other rune, I wouldn't be dying as much right now, but it's not the point that I'm making this video for. I'm not trying to show you how high up you can get with this build. I'm just showing you what I've done so far to get where I am and to show you that it's not impossible to do it in a smaller amount of time as compared to other people. Like, we all know as a fact that there are people up on the leaderboards right now that have probably played this and left the game on for the past 72 hours that the fourth season's been up. Maybe not playing it for 72 hours straight, but you know what I mean. Like, they have it on in the background, and they go and eat, and they come back, and they continue it all day for the next 3 days, you know. Especially seeing as it came on a weekend, which is very good at Blizzard. I enjoy when they do that, you know, comes close to the weekend, so then anybody that actually has important stuff to do during the week has a chance to play it all weekend, you know. But yeah, as you can tell though, because I'm doing really high rifts compared to my survivability, you can see that I keep getting Paragons every couple of minutes, it seems. Like, I've gotten up 3 or 4 Paragons since we started this video. And that's simply due to the fact that I'm just doing things that are really tough or a little bit higher than my character can handle, and taking my time and doing it correctly. So if you're trying to power level Paragon points too, this would be my advice to do it if you're going to do it solo, like a legitimate slow solo way. If you want to do it it's not cheap, but if you want to do it the easier way, you just get somebody that already has really high level, and then you just roll with them, and they just do ridiculous stuff while you kind of run around behind them. I'm sorry that I was going to do a series of when the season came out, like for the whole weekend, just like the first couple days, to show you how I leveled to 70. But the problem with that was I didn't have the ability to do it over the weekend. I mean, I barely had time to make the Saturday's video on New Vegas, so if that tells you anything, I wouldn't have been able to do this anyway. Okay, so this could be bad because I don't have anything off cooldown right now. Everything is pretty much on cooldown. So we're going to try to get in here. Ah, yep. They got the arcade as soon as they got in. Nothing I could have done there. Well, I mean, I could have ran away, but you know what I mean. I'll still clear this. I mean, this isn't one of my better times at T6. I got T6 clear when I was like half the time left, but it really doesn't matter to me at all. So there you go. I cleared one like instantaneously, and I just have to avoid all the other traps, and we should be okay. Yep, 2 cleared, 3 cleared. That's how quick it can be with the damage that you can do with this build. Ow. So as you can see, Perenni's health, when I have up my Call of the Ancient, or my Wrath of the Berserker, damn, I can take out most of his health in a couple hits. The only problem is that I can't take any hits, and he spawned that much, and then he did his roof drop, ceiling drop, so. But like I said, I'm not doing this video for showing you how high of a level I can clear. It's just, if you guys are playing like I am and you're just kind of trying to figure out like what you're gonna do and what builds would be a good idea and how you could do it without having to sit here and play it literally all month straight. That's how I do it. So 2 legendaries, got a staff which blows, that's really bad luck, and then a ring which I'll probably never use, Oculus or something similar. This is the coolest thing though I like about the new Greater Rift changes. Instead of them making you use gems that you collect over and over again and hope that you keep getting really high numbers, and then you use like a team of 4 to get like 60 or higher and then do it solo. Now you can pick whatever level. If you beat 25 now, I could go up to I think 27 or 28, and try my luck there. If I can't beat it, then I can't go any higher still. As soon as I beat that, I can keep going up. So if you're a guy that can just keep beating him over and over again, that's how you can test your skill. You don't have to have a group of 4 to get those high enough rifts to do solo. But now every time you get it, you get a gem that you have to level up, which is nice. Ah, I thought I was going to hit 25 right now, but no. I failed one. So bad luck. I have to wait for one more Greater Rift to do that. But the other thing, too, is if you haven't followed any of these videos I've played before, or I've made before for the old Diablo seasons, basically what I do is I do like a 25 to 30 minute video as such. Nope, I mean, that's good and all, but I don't want to use it. I do like a 25 to 30 minute video as I have right now. Show you what I'm thinking and then show you like a build that I've been working on and show you the progress on it. So you'll see progress and updates throughout the next couple days from it. Like one day this, one day fought and stuff. And as soon as I get bored with a build or I feel like I've hit a max for the build that I'm doing, where like the only way for me to get better on what I'm doing is to grind for hours to get ancients of the same stuff I already have. Then I switch to a new character and I build another character for the season and try out the new builds. Hold on. I had to sneeze. Typically, though, you will not see from me any intelligence builds, so Wizard or Witch Doctor. The reason being is because I'm not a fan. I'm actually a fan of the Witch Doctor. I enjoy the Witch Doctor's move sets and stuff, but I'm not good at them. And I just don't put the time in to ever learn how to use them, so I just never do them. My favorite is Barbarian. My second favorite, for sure, is going to be the Monk for now. Third favorite is the Crusader, and then my fourth is the Demon Hunter. The reason being is because I like more up close, and I like Barbarian the most just because his move skills, or his move sets I like the most. But either way, this is essentially what I'm going to be calling the first iteration of my Barbarian build. Paragon only level 110, and I will show you my profile with it. Heroes. As you can see, YARP, 27 hours, 44 minutes played. When the season started, I was eating dinner, so I opened it up, made my new character, and then put him into the game, and then sat and ate dinner. So I wasted about an hour of him sitting there, and then the past day or two, like I would just leave it open while I was watching a show or something. So realistically speaking, I'm going to say about 20 hours is what I put into him so far. 20 hours got me to 110 Paragon because I have this set ready to go, and as you can see, it's not very good at all, and I forgot to show you scoring that I have. It's an ancient score, and I even got one better than this, and I didn't want to switch to it because I don't want to like gimp myself when I get the actual weapon I want. But as you can see, I'm not putting anything too difficult into what I've done so far, and I haven't played enough to make it look like I'm sitting here power leveling for days at a time straight. So if you're in this position where you're making a new character or something, and you're kind of thinking like, well, you know, how am I ever going to get even a Greater Rift 25 or higher or anything if I can't get parts? Well, this is how you do it. You just run through rifts, you get keystones, you do the highest Greater Rift you can that doesn't frustrate you to no end. You keep getting legendaries from that, and then whenever you get blood shards, you waste them on Kadala. In my opinion, doesn't matter what you start with, but I just start with head, and then I go down chest like this, and then I go with gloves. And as soon as I get that, then I'll do the shoulder last. So it's basically just like down the line. Bracers, I didn't need to do the bracers, but you just do it whatever order you want. You just keep wasting all the blood shards you get. And that's typically how I do it. But that'll about do it for this episode, guys. I'm going to go ahead and switch out these 2 gems since that's so close to leveling. I'm just going to get it to 25 in a minute anyway. But I have a really low-level Band of the Trapped rank 12 in here. Which is nice and all, but this actually would be a much better choice for now. I'm actually going to do a lot more damage with that. But either way, if you're curious, please let me know what you think. T. Please let me know what you think about this situation and what you'd want me to do. If you want me to like change up some stuff or um, do some other builds or something like that, or if you'd like me to figure or like to tell you what I think about anything essentially in this game. I mean, I'm not like the best player in the game, but I think I'm gonna be pretty good at explaining some of the stuff for some of these builds and explaining like why I'm doing what I'm doing. But if you have any suggestions, though, let me know. Feel free to let me know if I should trade something. And oh, the biggest thing is let me know if I should go ahead and get all the parts and then re-roll this and go for the Seizing Slam build instead and see if that's better. Because right now this is actually pretty damn good, and I do have the Ramalani's gift to do it. But either way, since this is the first episode, that's the reason why I've been talking more than I've been playing anything. So either way, guys, that'll about do it though. So thank you very much for watching. If you like this, please like, comment, subscribe. If you didn't like it, go ahead and do that dislike as well. Share to your friends and tell me if this helped you out. But thanks again, guys, and we'll see you soon.